Well, after relentless attacks, guess what? Bain Capital holding on to its capital, the company that got Staples going, now interested in going private. But Bain and other private equity companies not wanting to make a move until after the election, saying after all the political attacks, no one's in any mood to deal with the PR hassle. Wealth manager Ty Young says that's the danger of political attacks. They could hinder business, and they ultimately come back to attack the attacker. Ty, an excellent point. But what Bain is doing, and what I know for a fact a number of other capital firms are doing, is just that. They're just putting the wheels in motion silently. What do you make of it?
Well, Neil, thanks for having me back. And really, this administration has been hostile to business, so it's really no surprise that the PR attack on Bain has caused them to kind of pull back until after the election. And as Bain pulls back, and it affects more than just Bain, but as they do that, it slows down the business, slows down economy, slows down job creating. So certainly it's a negative thing. You know, it could be interpreted, though, in reverse as a positive thing if they don't have to deal with the hassles of a sort of an outside world, you know, of the politicians and everything else. You just do everything internally. What do you make of that? Well, yeah, taking a company private makes all the sense in the world if you don't want to deal with as much regulation. You don't want to deal with you know, some of the attacks that are coming out of the White House and this administration right now. But the reality is, as you look at private capital, they're there as the Vice President pointed out, to make money. That's the goal. That's the way the capitalist system works. And what Bain's figured out, as well as many other private capital firms, if they don't have regulation in the way, and by going private, there's less regulation to deal with, they can make money for their investors more quickly. And that is the goal in a capitalistic system. But what they're also setting a signal is every company that we fix up, they haven't said this outright, we could do the same thing. In other words, rather than fixing them up, dressing them up to go public on the street, it would just be run by another private venture, or it would be, you know, brought in with just private hands. That takes more potential investment opportunities away from average folks as well, right? Well, that's exactly right. If there's too much regulation and too much PR pressure to take a company public and publicly make money with it, then that's exactly what you do. You keep it private. You do it on a smaller scale, at least from an employee and the availability of investment standpoint. And there's not as much opportunity for, you know, ma and pa kettle at home that would like to buy that particular stock or own it in a mutual fund. This type of oppression that's coming from this administration is not good for business, not good for the markets, and certainly not good for individuals. You know, the administration will point out, as I did with Michael Penno, that the markets, say what you will in nominal terms or not, have been doing very well. They seem to like Fed rescues. They seem to like rescues of themselves. So that's the wind at the administration's back, and Wall Street's going their way, and Wall Street should be happy. What say you? Well, it's funny. I talked about this on my radio show today. The reality is that, yeah, we threw gasoline on the fire. We're printing $40 billion. We're buying the mortgage-backed securities with toxic assets. We're keeping interest rates at zero. And that sounds great when you see the dollars go up on your 401k or your IRA statement. But when you go to the gas pump and you feel the realization that gas prices have doubled in the last 3 years as a result of this money printing, your food bill is double what it used to be just 2 or 3 years ago, potentially. So the dollars that you have are not going nearly as far as they were. It's working contrary to the best interest of the American people. And as your previous guest, both of them pointed out, America is smarter than just Ben Bernanke coming out and throwing gasoline on the fire of the stock market to run for just a couple of months till the election's over. Yeah, but it might be just enough for the election and then deal with all that stuff later, right? Well, that's right. It may be, and as you just pointed out, it's close. You know, some of the states, the president and Mitt Romney in battleground states are 50-50. But you know, really, I believe that as people realize that this administration's economic policy is not as good as the Carter administration, and foreign policy certainly. I mean, the president doesn't even attend his own Jobs Council meetings for I don't know how long. He's missing intelligence briefings. He's kind of checked out, like Chris Christie said. He's an absentee president. I think the American people will realize that. He's leading in the polls, buddy. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, again, who are they polling? To quote Bob Beckel, I don't believe that poll. The reality is, I think when they go to the polls, they'll elect somebody who understands economics. We shall see, young man. Ty Young in